It's the 6th. Yes, just long. So the first set to the defending champion and the world champion Monica Seles. 6 games to 3. 42 minutes it's taken her. And you may have noticed at home that there were certain signs of grunting going on from both of them, but not as loud as usual from Seles.
Well, I think that's true. I think that she was very conscious of the fact of the bad publicity at Wimbledon over her grunting, and she really has made a huge effort to cut it back. And we just wondered, after Wimbledon, after losing that final so easily to Steffi Graf, and then losing to Martina Navratilova in Los Angeles, and then losing to Arantxa Sanchez, what the factors were which had led to her seemingly invincibility getting less. And we wondered whether it was the effect of the grunting, that psychologically it had added up, that together with the fact that she had got so much pressure from people about her interest in Yugoslavia. And you know, she's only 18 years old. It's very difficult to be that politically minded when you're that young. And I think all those things took away a little bit from her confidence. I also think that the other players have played her a lot, and so they now know a bit more what to expect. They're not so totally overwhelmed. And certainly her opponent today, Arantxa Sanchez, found one of the ways of getting to her, and that was to just stay in the points forever and throw up these high lobs when she was in trouble.
Of course, one of the troubles about this whole grunting controversy, and really how it started, was from our certainly at home in England, was from our coverage of the French Championships. The effects microphones of the French television service, as here the CBS microphones, were so sensitive that the grunts sounded on television much louder than they actually were on site, and so it became a cause célèbre through the attention of the press, and wanting to write a story before Wimbledon began, as they always do, they lighted upon this, and it became the sensational story of Wimbledon. And I'm quite sure that it was unfair to Monica, really, all the attention she received and the timing of it all, and it looked a bit like a plot at times. Not to start with, but by the time it had reached the latter stages of the championships.
Well, there certainly always does seem a conspiracy against the #1 in the world to pick on them some way or another, and it is awfully difficult to hold that position of #1 and withstand all the pressure.
Well, now perhaps in the second set, Sanchez will be a little more relaxed. We'll see. There's no question, she's certainly a little more inhibited today than she has been throughout this meeting, where she's been so confident about all the aspects of her game. Late call. Seles was expecting it. Sanchez won't like it.
Well, they're hitting the ball very close to the line quite often, but the problem about this call was, as we see it again, it looks very much as if it touched the line. The problem was the late call. They have been experimenting at this tournament with some electronic line calling devices, and they've actually been very good.
another very close call there. And there's Bunny Williams, who's the umpire. Won't be able to overrule it, much too close. Goodness me. Well, that's where we do need an electronic system for those very close ones, which the human eye simply cannot possibly decide upon with sufficient accuracy. So a break of serve in the opening game of the second set. And of course, continuing the theme of automatic line calling, they were used in some of the senior matches, and Virginia Wade much too modest to admit that she and Wendy Turnbull are the new women's doubles masters champions here. Virginia, I believe you were playing some of those matches when the system was in use.
Well, particularly in the mix, they put us on courts with just an umpire, and then the lines were called by a beep. And I must say that they were very accurate, and it seemed that the harder you hit the ball, the sooner the response was. The problem, of course, is the enormous cost of putting those in. I believe it costs something like $60,000 per court. And I'm sure it will be a long time before it's really employed universally. Certainly they were playing some on the grandstand as well, which is the court right behind us, adjacent to this big stadium court. They've put it in there. They had 4 courts covered by it.
Well, now, returning to this match, Monica Seles must be very pleased at the moment with the way she started this match, if only because earlier in the week she was complaining of a virus.
Well, she wasn't well at all, and she was having trouble talking. She had very little voice, and she had had a fever and that. And it is always a problem in these long tournaments. They had very different weather here, and the dressing rooms get so cold from the air conditioning that if anything is going around, it catches up with a lot of the players. Monica also tends to get a little psyched by physical problems. She had a bad ankle in Montreal when she lost that match. But generally speaking, she is imperturbable. Always so much commotion on this court. It takes so long for people to walk in.
Seles, the holder of 6 Grand Slam singles titles. And it's rather curious that when Arantxa here won the French Championships, her only Grand Slam title in '89, she was the youngest ever woman to win that title. And then the very next year, Seles here, younger still, won it and set a new record. A remarkable natural length she keeps, doesn't she? And her command of angle and her ability to hit so hard close to the lines is remarkable. I mean, I have never seen any player achieve this so consistently.
And it's surprising to see her actually miss a ball like that.
30-15.
She handles the different spins and the different pace that the ball comes at her so well.
Goodness me.
It was a little change of pace from Arantxa Sanchez, but it didn't get her anywhere.
Game seles.
And a good deep serve. So 6-3, 2 love. to the defending champion and world champion.
This is a very good effort indeed by both players, because Arantxa just squeaked that ball back, and it looks as if Monica here thought she had won the point already, and then she was quick to scramble and chase that ball down and pound it away. She hits it so hard.
Good example of a great player making a good one play even better, forcing her to find better and better shots, even to stay in the rallies. And you won't see a better double-handed backhand winner than that. All, love to second set. Such is the pressure of a player like Seles against you that you feel you have to achieve really more than you're capable of at times, and that's why you see players going for too much and making what appear to be simple unforced errors, but it's because of what's happening from the other side of the net. Well played. And Sanchez showing signs to me that she is at last beginning to relax a little bit.
Well, she seems to be hitting the ball all right, but she also seems to be trying to loft her forehand a tiny bit more than usual, making sure that she gets it deep into the court. And some of them she's bounced or jumped a little more than usual when she hits it, and the errors are all coming from her forehand side.